The African Leaders Malaria Alliance, ALMA, whose chairperson is His Majesty King Mswati III, says it will make sure that His Majesty's dream of launching a Malaria Fund before the end of the year becomes a reality. Now, this was said by ALMA Secretary General Joy Phumaphi in an interview with Swazi TV News.
The Kingdom of Swaziland joined the globe in commemorating malaria, an event that was staged at Stegi. When addressing the nation, His Majesty King Mswati III, who is also the chairperson of the African Leaders Malaria Alliance, ALMA, reconfirmed Africa's commitment to eradicate malaria. His Majesty, ALMA chairperson, has a dream of launching a malaria fund before the end of 2017 and for the private sector to fully participate. We caught up with the Secretary General of ALMA here at the Lukoko Sun Hotel, Joy Phumaphi, who did confirm that indeed ALMA will do everything to make sure that the King's dream becomes a reality. Phumaphi also touched on the importance of the private sector to fully participate in what will be a great milestone for Africa.
We are really grateful for His Majesty's leadership. His Majesty has directed us to develop a fund working with the private sector that will help finance the fight against malaria. We know as African countries that we need to invest more public resources, that is more budget allocation of public resources to malaria. But that alone is not going to win the fight against malaria, because we have to at least treble the investment in the fight against malaria. And appreciating this, His Majesty has said, okay, work with the private sector in Africa. I want to be able to launch a fund this year. These are His Majesty's words. And we are working very hard right now with the private sector so that His Majesty can launch a fund this year on the African continent to supplement the public resource investment that is required, and also to supplement what the partners have been investing in malaria. Well, I think the most important message I can give the private sector is that we have conclusive evidence which has been generated by 100 leading economists in the world, including Nobel laureates under the Copenhagen Consensus Initiative, that clearly demonstrates that for every $1 that you invest in the fight against malaria, you actually generate $34 in terms of economic benefits.
Mobilization of resources, political will and community efforts over the past 16 years have resulted in nearly 7 million lives saved, leading to $2 trillion in benefits to malaria-affected countries. For Swazi TV News, I'm Linton Gule with Silted Gamini at the Lukoko Sun Hotel, Ezulwini.